Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be going over an example build for every single weapon line in the game. All of these builds will be very cheap, easy to play, and effective across a variety of different activities, so they're great for new players. Also, just quickly to note here, I'm only going to be going over the base of the build, so none of the abilities or the cape, food, and potions, as these are all very activity specific, so what you take depends on what activity you're going to be doing with the build. If you have questions about that sort of stuff, feel free to join my Discord, which link is in the description, and you can ask them there. The build for the Cursed weapon line is going to be the One-Handed Cursed, Torch, Cleric Robe, Mage Cowl, and Soldier Boots. The One-Handed Curse is a really great single target damage weapon. If you stack up your Q stacks 4 times on an enemy and then activate your E, a skull will appear above the enemy and deal a big burst of damage at the end. This makes it a great weapon and great build for all solo PvP, really at any level or specialization. For fire staves, our build is going to be the One-Handed Fire with the Tome of Spells, Cleric Robe, Scholar Cowl, and Guardian Boots. Fire staves as a weapon line are one of the pure DPS options. With fire staves, you can rain hell down on your enemies with constant damage from range that applies powerful dots, making them a powerful backline pure DPS option. With this build in the One-Handed Fire, you can either do high single target damage or good AoE damage, depending on what skills you choose to go with it. For the Arcane tree, our build is going to be the One-Handed Arcane Staff, Torch, Hunter Hood, Mercenary Jacket, and Scholar Sandals. Arcanes are a hybrid weapon line used for either damage or utility or both. This build with the One-Handed Arcane in particular provides a decent amount of damage with some utility to back it up. So with this build you can go into any sort of solo or group, PvP or PvE situation with confidence. For our Frost tree, the weapon we're going to be going with is the One-Handed Frost, along with the Tome of Spells, Scholar Cowl, Scholar Robe, and Soldier Boots. Frost is a hybrid damage utility weapon line that can output a ton of damage if uncontested, or kite enemies with slows and roots. A good strategy with this build is to be comboing all of your cast speed buffs like your Scholar Robe with the Ice Shard Q ability to put out very high damage per second after you root them with your E. For Holy Staves, the build we're going to be going with is the Great Holy Staff with the Scholar Cowl, Cleric Robe, and Mercenary Shoes. Holy is the first of 2 healing weapon lines. This build provides you some good self-peel while being able to consistently put out heals for a solid healing playstyle. Alternatively, you can use Holy Smite on your Q to, well, smite your enemies as a DPS option. For our Quarterstaff build, we are going to be going with the normal Quarterstaff along with a Mage Cowl, Mercenary Jacket, and Soldier Boots. Quarterstaffs are more often a late game tank weapon line, so I would suggest saving them for when you have more experience, but if you really like them, this is a decent starter build that can interrupt enemies and CC them while still outputting a decent amount of damage. For the Nature weapon line, we're going to be going with the One-Handed Nature, Torch, Mage Cowl, Cleric Robe, and Soldier Boots. Nature is the second healing weapon line and it excels at healing allies over time or using thorns to quickly bring down opponents. With a good mix of damage and healing, this build is one of the best for PvE combat, and no slouch at PvP either. For the spears, our build is going to be the One-Handed Spear, Torch, Hunter Hood, Mercenary Jacket, and Soldier Boots. The One-Handed Spear is one of the best beginner weapons and one of my all-time favorites as a jack of all trades for solo weapons. The One-Handed Spear combined with this build allows you to PvP or PvE comfortably no matter the situation. A good tip can be to combo your Mercenary Jacket and Forest of Spears together for a nice heal. For bows, our build of choice is going to be the normal bow along with the Mage Cowl, Cleric Robe, and Guardian Boots. The normal bow is another great option for newer players as it has very high single target damage that is easy to execute. This makes it an especially great choice for mobile players or players that play with very high ping. All you really have to do is activate your buffs, and once your E damage auto attacks stack up, you can really shred through anything. For daggers, the build we're going to go with is the one-handed dagger, torch, assassin hood, hunter jacket, and soldier boots. This build may just have the greatest potential out of all of the builds on this list. If you are able to freely hit an opponent after comboing your E and hunter jacket together, you output a crazy amount of damage while healing yourself just as much. Because of this, it can be a great option for not only PvP, but PvE as well. For war gloves, the build we're going to be using is the battle bracers, mage cowl, assassin jacket, and soldier boots. If you are looking for an in and out melee DPS playstyle, this build might be for you. It has a great amount of mobility to outmaneuver opponents and can output a lot of damage in quick bursts. This build is especially effective if you like playing in the open world. For axes, the build we are going to use is the battle axe along with the torch, hunter hood, mercenary jacket, and soldier boots. The battle axe is a simple weapon that excels at fighting either at close quarters, or you can throw your axe with your E to deal damage at range. Because of this, it makes it a very versatile weapon and build to be able to do any sort of PvP and PvE in basically any situation. The high amount of healing that the battle axe combined with the mercenary jacket has also makes it a great option for killing bosses. For swords, the build we're going to go with are the dual swords with the hunter hood, mercenary jacket, and soldier boots. This is a very popular build not only for beginners but veterans alike. It provides a lot of damage and utility to excel both at PvP and PvE. The high attack speed in the dual swords in particular lets you use your mercenary jacket healing to its full potential. For crossbows, the build we're going to go with is the light crossbow with the mist collar as our offhand, or the torch as a more budget option, scholar cowl, cleric robe, and mercenary shoes. The light crossbow is one of the best ranged beginner weapons with a simple design, long range, and high output damage. It can be a little bit low on defense, so this build provides it the defensiveness and utility it needs to thrive. It's great for PvP right from the start, and can become one of the best PvE weapons after leveling it up after not too long. For hammers, we are going to go with the Great Hammer along with the Mage Cowl, Soldier Armor, and Hunter Shoes. I wanted to give at least one option with plate armor for you tank enthusiasts, and Great Hammer is a great weapon to go alongside it. With mobility and CC, this build can slowly whittle down opponents with Mage Cowl while staying safe through controlling opponents and tanking through their damage. If you want to be a little bit more beefy and use some plate armor, the Great Hammer build is a perfect one to start with. For maces, our build is going to be using the one-handed mace alongside the Mist Collar or Torch for a cheaper alternative, Mage Cowl, Assassin Jacket, and Hunter Shoes. With damage, CC, and mobility, this build has a little bit of everything to help you deal with whatever situation you encounter. Okay, and that is one example build for every weapon line in Albion Online. I hope this video helped you out and find a good starter build to begin your adventure with. If it helped you out, there's many more videos like this on my channel, so feel free to subscribe and do all the other stuff you do to videos. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.